Alright, Casual Junkies, I'm back. Got a game of Domination on Storm for you. But there's something I need to talk about in this video, and that's something my subscribers have been asking me a whole lot about. And that's the military. That's what I do. If you guys don't know, I'm currently serving in the United States Air Force. And yeah, I've mentioned it a few times in some of my videos, and because this is a military shooter, or at the least it has military elements incorporated into it, I thought, you know what, it makes sense to post this commentary. So, as far as I know, I'm the only active duty, Call of Duty, commentator on YouTube. So if nothing else, this is a unique perspective for the community. And who knows, it may help somebody looking to start a military career. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a recruiter. I'm not trying to sell you on the military. I'm just giving you information gleaned from my own experiences so you can form your own opinions. I think that most civilians, they're simply unaware of how the military works in general, and they actually acquire their perceptions from TV shows, and oftentimes movies. So, I will say this, it's generally not like how you see on those forms of media. It's somewhat inaccurate, especially if you're watching a Michael Bay movie. But I'm seeing this as a good opportunity to provide you guys with some insight into how the military works. But first off, let's go ahead and start off with why I joined personally. I was working a dead-end job. I was going to college, and it wasn't panning out the way I had hoped for. I was acquiring a lot of debt that I just couldn't pay off in time or fast enough. And eventually, I met this girl who I wanted. I realized that shit, I want to start a family with her. So I decided and realized that, you know what, not everyone takes the same route in life to get where they need to be, and let me try this military thing out. So far it's been pretty good to me. So what you guys can do is you need to find your own reason to join, whether that be patriotism, money, security, education, which is pretty big in the military, surprisingly, contrary to or if you just need order in your life. It can be a difficult decision. So keep in mind everything that your recruiter tells you, and keep that in mind, but at the same time do your own research, because recruiters have quotas to meet, and sometimes they'll skew facts. One thing about the military you'll quickly learn if you do decide to join is that it's not just a 9-to-5 job. It's an entire lifestyle change. You have to, eat right, have to have good nutrition. You have to exercise a whole lot. It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle change. Another thing, you will become an adult very quickly when you join, if you decide to join. And if you don't, chances are you'll probably get kicked out, which is bad. Because a dishonorable discharge is not fun, according to some of my old friends. And you will hear and see things that you've never experienced before. So get ready for that. Also, you'll gain a sense of the bigger picture. The mission, whatever that means. I would suggest if you're kind of a selfish person, don't get into this. It's probably not the wisest career path for you to choose. I also get a lot of questions about basic training, otherwise known as boot camp. Yes, it is hard, even for the Air Force. A lot of people have this conception about the Air Force that we're lazy and blah blah blah, whatever. What they don't know is that the Air Force has, we've been deploying people overseas non-stop since 9/11. And oftentimes with the Army. So you'll see us doing the same job they're doing. Since the operational tempo has increased, the training has to reflect that. Now I will say this, we will never be the Marine Corps. Alright? It'll never be the Marine Corps because we're not training ground troops here. We're combat troops. To me, we're mostly a combat support brand. Some people have asked me about my own experiences about basic training. I will say that it's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and I used to wrestle in high school, so take that as you will. First thing you'll notice when you get there to boot camp is your drill instructors. In the Air Force, we call them TIs, training instructors, because they don't just teach drill. They teach you everything you need to know as a up-and-coming. And they're tough, scary bastards, let me just say. Most of them come from hard career fields like maintenance or security forces, otherwise known as cops. So they're already surly to begin with. And their job is to mold you from a group of self-centered civilians into a cohesive unit. So, yeah, they're constantly trying to break you down. so they can build you back up into something stronger. And that's what this whole thing is about. They're trying to get you to be about teamwork. One thing you will learn to do is you do everything with a sense of urgency. You have to do everything fast, quickly, efficiently, and excellently. Which is probably one reason I can't sit still in Call of Duty. I get questions about how the exercise, the PT, physical training is. Yeah, it's a little bit rough, not gonna lie. There's just something about getting up before the sun does to go run several miles and pump out a whole bunch of push-ups that it's not in the least bit fun. But by the end of it, you'll come out looking like Jason Statham. So, take that as you will. I think the TIs they'll find any reason to make you drop and do push-ups. Let me just say that. For instance, oh, hey, your boots are tied improperly. Get on your face. Your shirt has a string a quarter of an inch long. Get on your face, trainee. You know, stuff like that. Another thing, eating chow. Most meals for me lasted about 5 minutes from the moment I sat down to the moment I stood back up to put away my tray. The TIs, they didn't care if you ate or not. They just wanted you to hydrate, drink your 3 required glasses of water, and get out. You quickly found out an efficient method of shoving the most amount of food in your mouth. And a lot of guys, they would combine all sorts of weird foods together, like, you know, stacking bananas between several slices of bread, and adding peanut butter and grapes, and scarfing it down within a matter of seconds. It's just ludicrous. And to top it off, the TIs, they would constantly loom over you too, just to make sure you kept your head and eyes straight down at your food. Heaven forbid you ask someone to pass you some ketchup. Another thing, you'll meet a lot of different people from different countries and places. I'll say this, never in a million years would I have ever thought I would be able to get along with a borderline redneck named Cooper, but by the end of the entire ordeal, we were really good friends. He was a funny guy. So, you know, people tend to bond together when they suffer together. So, another question I get asked a lot is in regards to the dreaded showers. Yes, let me just lay this out there. You will shower naked in front of other men and or women. My suggestion, in order to get over it, you start practicing at home with your best friend. Try that out. Now, the training itself. In the Air Force, you know, we have a broad military training, such as basic weapon usage, customs and courtesies, and military history, marching and drill, and lots of that. Military image and physical fitness. You'll take a whole bunch of classes and a whole bunch of tests. It's only, you know, until afterwards that you'll get to your specific job training, where you learn to do your profession. And that's often at a separate base. And after that, you know, you'll be assigned to your first duty location. Where you'll get to perform your job as a member of quote-unquote operational, which means real-time service. And once you start serving in operational, there are many pros and cons that I imagine can be applied military-wide across all branches. For instance, I think every branch has its own special duties, you know, things that you're assigned in addition to your primary profession. I know the Navy has what's called standing watch. You have to stay up for X amount of hours, you know, guarding a location, which, from what I hear, is widely despised. The Air Force, we have things like ORE, which is basically an exercise simulating a deployment. And those are always fun. Like I said earlier, I think I did. Yeah, this is not a 9-to-5 job. You're always on duty, 24/7, and oftentimes you'll find yourself working after hours. There's a lot of sacrifice involved, and sometimes you might actually have to, you know, do things you don't necessarily agree with. One pro about being in the military is that you'll more than likely never have to worry about your finances if you're responsible. Every member gets accommodated to their lifestyle. For instance, since I have a family, I get to live off base, and I get paid more money than a single airman does, just, you know, to cover my mortgage and utilities. Now, a single member, he doesn't have to worry about buying food or paying rent. Since they live on base, they're pretty much allotted a room in the barracks, as well as plenty of food. You know, none of which comes out of their pocket. So, another positive to being in the military is that you will meet a whole bunch of level-headed and focused people. I swear, I've never been surrounded by so many, I don't know, people with a common goal. The word can't, or the phrase will not, is never used. If a problem presents itself, we find a way to get it done. You know, you're around these type of people all the time. You become like the same way that if you surround yourself with people who are better than yourself, you eventually become better at whatever it is you do. So even if a situation is dire, these types of people, they maintain their discipline and they look for solutions instead of panicking, which I absolutely love. The mindset is basically this. This is the mission, and we must complete it. So, at the end of the day, I would not trade many of my experiences for anything, even the hard ones, because there's a certain sense of satisfaction that you get from doing your job. And these people, they do a great job of instilling a sense of mission. And if you can't deal with that, I would suggest looking elsewhere, because the selfish people usually don't survive long in this type of game. So, if you're considering a military career, like I said, do your research, watch videos, ask questions, and most importantly, read everything you can find, every sort of piece of literature you can find, and that's basically it. If you have more questions, feel free to contact me about it. I'll be happy to answer them. Anyway, this is Castle.